Alright, lads. Promoter Eddie Hearn, right? Recently, he said that he was planning on doing a pay-per-view card in, I think it was either April or May. Okay? Now, obviously, we know what fight dates are coming up. We know, obviously next weekend there's fights in March, there's fights in April, etc., etc. We know all about that, right? But he's saying that there might be a pay-per-view lined up. Now, immediately when I heard that, I thought Warrington versus Kanzu, right? Because it's for the regular WBA title, which I suspect they will eventually get elevated to full champion, because for some bizarre reason Leo Santa Cruz is still 126-pound champion. I mean, tell me how that works. But that's what I kind of thought it was. But overnight, Dereck Chisora tweeted a picture of him, Joesph Parker, in kind of a fight poster. Underneath it had unfinished business. He just had the hashtag War Chisora, and he obviously added Joesph Parker to it, right? Now, as we all know, these two they had the press conference. They were scheduled to fight October 2019, undercard of Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis on pay-per-view in the O2. They had the press conference. Remember Chisora's rant that he wasn't the main event, that he felt that this fight was deserving of a main event. And I mean, Prograis Taylor, for my money, was fight of the year in 2019. It was a great fight. But Parker versus Chisora, that was a fight I was looking forward to too. Now, Joesph Parker pulled out of that fight for a spider bite. Alright, yeah, we all had a good laugh at that. But that was what he pulled out of the fight for, a spider bite. Chisora ended up fighting David Price. Okay, since then, Chisora's gone on to, who did he fight? He fought Usyk, was it? Yeah, he fought Usyk in his next fight after Pricey. And Joe Parker, did he fight anyone after? Oh yeah, he fought Winters. He fought Winters last year. Shondell Winters. So, Parker, a bit inactive. He's a fight coming up at the end of February on the 27th against Junior Fa. Alright. Now, that fight's already been pushed back once. Alright, I believe. I could be wrong. I believe it was something to do with Junior Fa's a blood test or something like that. Not that there was anything like in his blood that should have been, like performance enhancing. I think it was an issue with it or something like that. I can't remember exactly where the actual issue was, but it got pushed back. It was meant to happen December 10th. It's happening now, February 27th. I make Joe Parker firm favourite to win that fight. I mean, Junior Fa's never really impressed me too much. Depends how punishing the fight is. If Parker comes through that fight relatively unscathed, maybe stops Junior Fa, maybe he wins, a shutout points decision, I could see him versus Chisora. Because Joe Parker, is he going to get a Dylan White rematch? No. Is he going to get a WBO, shot, for at Usyk or, Usyk or interim title or anything like that? No. Looks like Joe Joyce is getting that. So where else is Joe Parker going to go? Chisora wants this fight. It was meant to happen 2019. I was disappointed it didn't happen. I was looking forward to it. I thought it was a good fight. I still think it's a good fight. I'm still interested in it. If this is the fight Eddie Hearn is talking about doing on pay-per-view, and if he is looking at doing this, I mean, Chisora, imagine that. Imagine having back-to-back fights on pay-per-views and a loss. So you lose your fight against Usyk on pay-per-view, and your next fight is in a pay-per-view against Joe Parker. Could you imagine that? I could see them doing it. I mean, if they put out, if they do that, and they have Warrington versus Zoo on the undercard, I could see them doing it on pay-per-view. Joe Parker versus Chisora is a good fight. Joesph Parker, he's been talking about being more aggressive, right? And look, we need to see how he looks against Junior Fa. He would have been out of the ring. He's been quite inactive, Joesph Parker, actually, over the last few years. He's won fight in 2019. He'd won fight in 2020. And so far, this will be his first fight of the year, about a year removed from when he fought Winters. Now, Parker, prior to that, was quite active. You may remember 15, 16, and even 2017. He was active. He was fighting 2 or 3 times a year sometimes. So Parker's been a bit active. Him against Chisora at this stage, I would still make Joe Parker favourite, but I think this is a competitive fight. I mean, Joe Parker was saying, when he fought Dylan White, that fight was there for him. He could have won that fight. He started off very quick. And Joe Parker's not normally a quick starter, but he started off quick. The speed difference between him and Dylan White in that fight was, you could see it with the naked eye, in the first 2 rounds up until the headbutt went in. It went downhill from there with Parker, and he really only put his foot in the gas in the 12th round, and by then it was too late. So Parker needs to find that little bit of spite. And have we really seen it? I mean, you can't really gauge it from someone like a Shondell Winters. You can't really gauge it from someone like an Alex Leopold. Might see it against Junior Fa, but someone like a Chisora, who was just going to come in like a bull in the china shop and try and put it on Joe Parker, that's different. We might see what Joe Parker's on top of there. If he meets fire with fire, might be interesting. Or we might see Joe Parker try and get on his bike and move. Now, Parker is... He can move a bit, he's got fast hands, but he is not as light as Alexander Usyk when he's in the 240s in terms of his weight. His feet are noticeably slower. In fact, he plods a lot when he's in the 240s, which is not good for him. Which is why I always say he's best off in the 230s, Joe Parker. So, him against Chisora, it'd be an interesting fight. Do I think we'll see it? Would they do it in the... I'm just trying to think, would they do it in the UK or would they do it in New Zealand? Because New Zealand, you can have fans in. Right? Pay-per-view though, no, they wouldn't do it in New Zealand. I'm just thinking they wouldn't do it in New Zealand pay-per-view because the time difference. I know it'd be in the morning. They wouldn't do it in the morning. They definitely do it in the UK. As to whether we get fans in or not, but remains to be seen. But if they did Parker versus Chisora next, I'd be up for that. I think it's a good fight. I think it's an intriguing fight. I'd be up for it straight away. I'll say it. I'll be up for it. Would I pay for it? The undercard was good. Sure. Seriously, if the undercard was good, sure. Seriously, it's a decent fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think we'll see that fight? Do you think that's what Eddie Hearn was alluding to when he said he might have a pay-per-view coming up in, I think, April or May? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you are all having a good day, wherever you are in the world. Lads, if you could, smash the like button while you're here. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. #GMansRocks, all that good stuff. Lads, I'll talk to you. Peace.